Hi everybody, welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Lene Gehrig, and today I am really excited to bring you from Hunky Dory Crafts For the Love of Stamps Create a Shaker card collection. And it comes with this adorable, well, this first one is Outer Space and Deep Blue Sea stamp set, and this is the Super Sweet and Cutie Critters stamps. And then of course it's got this wonderful 5x5 stamping pad. So I can't wait to show you what we did with all of this, so come play with us. All right, so this cute little card that I made uses the Sea collection from the Outer Space and Deep Blue Sea stamp set. It also uses the 5x5 stamp pad, which let me show you here really quick. It's got all these great backgrounds, so it saves you a little time in creating your own background. I think that is wonderful. And each side is reversible, so you got bubbles on one side and then larger bubbles on this side. So that's what I did for this porthole shaker card. And you can see it's got this wonderful little guys. These are Moxie confetti. They're these little mylar tubes. They're adorable. The containers are even very clever. I used the blue collection. So if you turn it over, there's all these different colors. And you just pour it out what you need, pop back in what you don't need. Okay? So it's really very convenient. It comes in different colors. It's got a metallic collection. And also, this one is great. It's got all the holidays in it. So those are super fun to make your shaker cards with. Okay, so let me show you a little bit more of this one, the Birthday Fishes. As I said, it uses the Deep Blue Sea collection. It's got this wonderful porthole here that you could use for outer space porthole or a ship porthole. So I just used the wood background. Let's see if I can find it in here under my paper pad. Yeah, so I wanted to be sort of like the inside of a ship, and then you were looking out your porthole and you see this cute little guy. So he's sending oceans of love, the little skin diver down there. All right, so then for the other collection, okay, this one is for the Super Sweet and Cutie Critters stamp collection. I made this cute little jar and it has little bugs in it. And I'm going to show you how to sort of do this shaker aspect of it. Before I forget, I wanted to show you, this is just a photocopy that I made. I wanted to make sure you saw from the designers at Hunky Dory Crafts what they did with the other portion of the stamps. This one is from the Super Sweet, and they just made an adorable little candy jar. I thought that was so sweet. And then this one uses the Outer Space set from the other stamp set. So these are on our website, so make sure you check those out. I just want to make sure you saw those. All right, so for the cute little critters one, I went ahead and I used from my pad here, I wanted to put the green in the background. So there's this great textured green. It actually is on the back of one of the ocean ones, but then also there's a purple dot. If I can find the purple dot. Here we go, also right there. I thought that would look really cute with the bugs. So I'm starting out with, I stamped the shaker card, well rather the jar, onto white cardstock, and I'm just using this tri-blend marker from Spectrum Noir, which if some of you have watched before, you know I love this one. You get 3 different shades of the same color. So this is Ice Gray Blend. There's a light, a medium, and a dark pen, all in the same tube. So I'm going to start off with the dark, and I'm going to color the top of my jar lid. Okay, and then I'm going to go into the middle, the mid-range, kind of blend that down. Then I'm going to go to the light, go down. That's the bottom edge of my jar. So I'm going to blend that right into the middle and into the darker. Then I'm going to go back to the darker and just do a little around this very bottom edge of the jar lid. There we go. Now for the rest of the jar, I am just going to use the light pen And because I'm going to do some cutting on this, I don't need to color the whole jar. You could also use, if you didn't want to use a gray pen, you could also use blue on your jar portion. So if you want your glass to be tinted a different color. I'm just going to do a little bit of outlining here because I'm going to take some scissors. I'm going to cut away the inner portion of the jar to make the shaker base. All right, that's good enough. So now that I've done that, that's sort of giving me my outline of where to cut. So I'm going to take my little scissors, I'm going to poke it right in the center. And I'm going to go over to where I was coloring. And I'm just going to cut right next to that colored line. Okay. And also the little lines that are stamped on the inside edge of the jar are also just a good guideline. Right, I'm going to get around the corners here and the bottom. Go. All right, that's going to be the base of my shaker. And then I'm going to take some acetate. And you can buy this by the sheet at paperwishes.com. So I'm going to take some acetate, and then of course after I cut out around the outside edge, which I forgot to do, all right, then you're going to glue the acetate behind here. And I'm just going to use my Cosmic Shimmer and glue around the inside edge there, put down my acetate, let that dry for a second, and then what I'm going to get is going to look like that. Okay, we're going to skip ahead. So I've got my acetate, and then I'm also going to take some foam tape. And I like to use, you might have seen me bringing this big guy out. This is our giant wheel, 50 yards or 150 feet of foam tape. Okay, this has lasted Debbie and I quite a long time, but we go through it faster than probably you'd imagine. What I do is I'm going to just cut. What I love about having it on the wheel as opposed to smaller bits, I can cut it into any size I want. And because my edge on this jar is so thin, I just want really thin strips of foam tape. So that's what I'm going to do here. All right, so I've got a really thin strip of foam tape. And I've already got one layer down all the way around, okay? But I want to make sure whether I'm using the Moxie confetti on the inside of my card, or I'm using these little sparklets like I put around the outside of my card if I wanted to put some of those on the inside. These are thicker, or you could put candy on the inside of the card, and you would want the space between the front and the back of the shaker to be even thicker. So depending on how thick your shaker ingredient is, that's how thick you want, how many layers of foam tape. So I want to put 2 layers of foam tape along the back of my jar, all the way around, okay? So I would do 2 layers, and then I'm going to attach it to the front part of my card. But before I do that, how do I cut through this layer, okay? So what I do is before I put even acetate on it, I went to the back of my card and I just put my little shaker guy right here when I cut that out, and I just stuck it right there, and I just took a pencil and I drew around that, okay? And then I cut right through here. So that gives me my window. Now I go back to, now I've got it covered with acetate, 2 layers of foam tape, and I just put that down right there. And then I went ahead and stamped my bugs on white cardstock, and I used Spectrum Noir pens, and I colored them, and I had a great time doing that. And then I also colored some to go on the inside, okay? Now you could put these bugs on the inside of your shaker, but I like to put them on the back so that when you see through the card, it looks like they're in the jar, or it looks like they're in the porthole, but when you open it, you get a surprise, okay? So all that's within the acetate is the actual shaker material on my cards. All right, so what I also like to do is give my cards a finished look on the inside here. So actually what I did is I cut 2 jars and did the same process on both, and then I would have a front and a back. First, I gotta go ahead and put in some of this wonderful shaker stuff. Let me give you a little tip here. Acetate has a lot of static cling in it, and because these little bits of Moxie confetti are Mylar, they have a lot of static in them as well. So Debbie and I found that if you take your sheet of acetate right from the get-go and you just wash it under warm water, okay, and then you pat it dry with a towel or paper towel, it's going to take away all that clinginess, okay? So that way it just goes like this in your card and it's not sticking everywhere, okay? So let's go ahead and we're going to put in, I like this lavender and iridescent mix. We're going to put some in there. And I love the cap where you can just go around and turn it to any color you want. That's very clever. All right, so now I've got my foam tape on this side as well. I'm just going to align that. Okay, so now, excuse me, I've got my acetate on the front, and then I cut my hole, and I've got my acetate on the back. There we go. And because I took care of the static cling by washing my acetate beforehand, everything moves around as it's supposed to, okay? So we've got a great money saver on the stamps and the pad, the paper pad, the Moxie confetti. So check out the money savers on the link to, that's on the right side of your page. And if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you check the links out that are in the description below. They'll take you to paperwishes.com, to the money saver, but also there's other links that take you to more videos and more great products and lots of other fun things. So thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.